Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. It was very nice. Great to be with you this morning. Well, let's really quick find out who's in the room and see who's hanging with us today. So how about this? If you are a grizzled veteran in youth ministry, so I'm going to say 5 years or more. 5 years or more, you're a grizzled veteran. You've seen it all. Would you just raise your hand? Make a little noise to see where you are. Okay, 5 years or more. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Just for fun, do we have any 10 years or more? We have 1, 2. That's some real. You can see the gray hair. The gray hair. Respect it. Respect gray beard hair. In your case, that's great. It looks good. It's a good look. When I was young in youth ministry, I was 21 when I started my first full-time job right out of Bible college, and I needed to look older. And so I grew, we went on an overnighter at the bowling alley, and the guy's like, "Who's the leader of your group?" And I was like, "I am." And they said, "We don't think you're the leader. We think you're a kid." And so I decided I needed to grow a goatee, which is what you did in the 90s. And so, but I had a bald spot in my goatee, so I really had like a goatee. That's what I had, just a little bald spot. But I looked a little older, so that was great. That was my first experience in youth ministry. Okay, so we have some 5 years. We have a 10-year or 2. Do we have any like you're in your first 2 years? Your first 2 years of youth ministry? Okay, all right, good. How many of you, well, I guess I kind of skipped 2 to 4, but 2 to 4, just so you get recognized, 2 to 4? Okay, there you go. All right, got you covered. Okay, how about you are like new to youth ministry, like maybe not even in youth ministry yet, or you're in an internship, or you're volunteering at a church. You're like on the cusp. You're really new. How many of you have voted multiple times already? Just you? Okay, good. All right, let's see the newbies. Let's see the newbies. That's fun. Newbies? Yeah. Some of you seem reluctant. What are you guys? What are you guys? Just students figuring it? Yeah, students. All right, how many of you are students that didn't fall into the other categories? Okay, all right, that's good. All right, good. Excellent. All right, great. Well, it's great to see you. I have been in each of your shoes, like wherever I've been in Bible college. I was originally going to be a business major, actually graduated with a business degree, but right at the last minute had an amazing conversation with a leader, a mentor, the dean of men at our school, and it changed the trajectory of my life. And maybe I'll share a little bit more of that story later, but I've sat in these seats. I was serving as a volunteer youth pastor, intern, whatever it was, at Waunakee Baptist Church in Wisconsin, where I went to college. And so then I became a full-time youth pastor for about 8 years at a small rural farm church in Michigan. And it was a 40-acre cornfield, and 1 acre in the corner of that cornfield was our church. And that's where I served for 8 years. It was a King James only, super conservative, hardcore, like fundamental church, like fundamental Baptist. Like they took all the fun out of fundamental and Baptist. I mean, they were like, Southern Baptists probably aren't going to heaven. Like they were serious. It was intense. And then I finally became a Christian and then moved out. I moved out to California and was the high school pastor at Saddleback Church, was at that church for 13 years. And now I run an organization called Download Youth Ministry, which the entire goal of DYM is to help youth workers win. So whether you are in your first few days of youth ministry, whether you are a grizzled, gray-bearded veteran, I think there's something for us all to learn today. And to be honest, one of my favorite things about teaching youth ministry courses, classes, conferences, and all that stuff is that I am a continual learner too. So if you're serving in youth ministry, I want to hear what is you're just crushing it in your church. Like, what are you doing that nobody else is doing? What are you doing that God is blessing and it's kind of like unexplainable? And then I'll steal those ideas and teach them like they're my own. So thank you for that. That'd be great. But I'd love to continue to learn with you in this journey. I want to have some fun right away, though. It's early. How many of you are coffee drinkers? Just so you drink coffee? How many of you are not coffee drinkers? So how are you awake? How are you okay right now? Not coffee drinkers, what do you do? Dr. Pepper, okay, starting early on the juice. I like it. What do you do?
Be sad.
What was it? Just be sad. Okay, all right, that's fair too. Be sad. So I thought this morning I would wake us up with, whether you're a coffee drinker or not, with a fun little game. It's one of the classics on Download Youth Ministry. Figured it'd be a good chance to, let's see if we can get this thing to work. There it is. It's called Lamentation or Taylor Swift Lyric. It's a very simple game. All you have to do is guess if the lyric on the screen is from the Book of Lamentations, from our scripture. or it is a Taylor Swift lyric. Some of these will be deep cuts, so hopefully you know your Taylor Swift albums. Each row needs to nominate a person to be their row captain. So you have a small row, you have just two of you, you're a row, all right, you're a row. So on the count of three, what I want you to do on the count of three is point at the person in your row who's going to be the row captain. And on the count of three, wait for it. And then whoever has the most fingers pointing at them is the captain. Now we need a great prize. What prize should we give away? Mr. Frazee, Dr. Frazee, Dr. Chair Frazee, do we have, how about the mug out of your hand? Would you give that up? That's a microwave safe.
No, it's not microwave safe.
It's not microwave, there's metal right on the top of it. Would you give that up?
It has Love and Christian and the Friendship Tigers on the side.
That's awesome. Okay, now really quick, before we play, what's the mascot of this school?
The Mighty Chaparrals.
Okay, the Chaparrals. Is that right?
That is.
The Chaparrals. But then you said the Friendship Tiger.
That's where I coach. So here we have.
So it's that. So it's okay. It's different. So you friendship.
Yeah, not friend, but friend.
And where I come from, football, they're not friends. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, we're gonna play. On the count of three, point to your row captain. 1, 2, 3, point. If you have the most fingers pointing at you, you are the captain. Captains, please rise. Captains, please rise. You are the captain. All right. You have enough. You're the captain. Oh, captain, my captain. All right. It looks like we are predominantly male, 100%. 100% male, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to let that go. No comments needed. We're just going to move along. All right, this is how it works. When you're a row, they give you feedback and help you. What did you guys? You're okay. All right, good. You're going to all share one mug. That's great. Okay, good. Here's how it works. If you think it's a Taylor Swift lyric, we need a symbol. What's the symbol for Taylor Swift? What should you do with your hands? Like guitar? Guitar. Okay, so you strum the guitar if you think it's Taylor Swift. And Lamentations, what do you think Lamentations should be?
Bible.
A Bible. Okay, that feels right. So when you're voting, it's either, you're locking in your answer, it's either Lamentations or Taylor Swift lyric. Sound good? Okay, Taylor Swift could have been like Broken Heart or whatever. That's all right. All right, we're good. Here we go. First one up on the screen. Let's go. Boom. Yes, it works. She cries herself to sleep at night, tears soaking her pillow. Is it Taylor Swift or Lamentations? Taylor Swift, Lamentations. Talk it over quickly with your row. You need to lock in your answer. What's that? What translation? Oh, they're all in play. Every translation ever known to man is in play right now. Paraphrases, all of it. Good luck. The Message is a pretty conservative translation in this game. All right, here we go. All right, your answers are locked in. Correct answer, Lamentations 1-2. Lamentations 1-2. So if you got it wrong, you're out. Sit down, you're done. That's it. That's it. So, okay, we're down to 2. Now, some of you are already fact-checking this, going Lamentations 1-2. In fact, Graybeard, what do you got? Are you in Lamentations right there?
No, we were Taylor Swift.
You're Taylor Swift. Okay, so you're out. You're out. I got distracted by Taylor. It's okay. It's okay. So we have. All right, I brought 12 questions, but I guess we needed one. We needed one. All right, go over here to Dr. Frazee's coffee mug, and let him finish it quickly. And then, all right, while that's happening, I'll do another one. I thought we'd have more than one question of the day. I guess it's one. Your knives and swords and weapons that you use against me. Does anyone know the song? Do you know the song? It is from Mean. Very good. Very good. Here's another one. My eyes are blind with tears. My stomach is in a knot. Lamentations. Lamentations, obviously. Everyone knows that. It's a familiar Bible verse that we all memorized as kids. Awana. You're like a lion ready to pounce. No clue. Swift? Nope. All right, there's more. I'll just go fast. Yearning in the deep part of my heart for you. Say it. Which one? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it is. Great. yearning in the deep part of my heart for you. I'll never forget the trouble, the poison I've swallowed. That's clearly Taylor Swift. Just kidding. There's one thing I remember, so I would keep a grip on hope. Wow. All right, good. All right, so I really thought we would need these. I apologize that we have to now go through them all. All we are is skin and bone. That's definitely Taylor. Okay, good. Good for a man to bear the yoke while he is young. If that's Taylor Swift, I quit. There's no way. She's really gone downhill. That's right. There's 4 volumes of this game on Download Youth Ministry. I would like to give you all 4 of these. So at the very end of today, I'll just give them all to you. The games on Download Youth Ministry are like $3 or $4, but I'll give you all 4 editions. They're just killer, easy games in your youth ministry. A lot of fun. I just like to start with a little bit of fun. Yada, yada, yada. Here's some more of the games that we have. This game is called So You Want to Move to Canada. This was back when the elections were happening and people were like, "Want to go to Canada?" Oh, we'll help you go, actually. It's great. Another game called Emoji Movies. It's just fun, different strings of emojis. You have to guess which movie it is. Yada, yada, yada. All right, so today, first session, I want to talk about what Monday looks like in the life of a high school student. I'll tell you more of my story throughout the day, but want to walk you right into some content so hopefully you can find something valuable in every session that we have in our time today. First of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a continued learner. Thanks for being a person who wants to grow in your skills, your heart, your passion. I've taught and I've sat and taught in a lot of sessions like this, and I know there's a whole bunch of different people. There's different people in this room. Some of you are required to be here as part of your education, and so you're forced to be in the room, which is okay, because I'm used to youth ministry, where about half of the kids in my youth ministry are forced to be there by their parents. Now I'm the parent of a teenager who at times I have to force my kids to go to youth group. So it's not a big deal if you're here and you're like, I would love to be anywhere else. There's football on or could be sleeping in. I get it. But thanks for being here. It's a really, really big deal. And I hope that over the course of the day, you'll say it was really, really worth my time. God showed me something that I needed to hear and learn and grow from. I also know there's people in here that have been doing this for a long time or maybe a short while, and the church has been tough. The church has hurt you. And ministry is really, really challenging. And some of you are sitting in these chairs, and if we were to gather together at these lectures next year, you wouldn't be here because you're about done. You're about burned out. You're finished. The politics, the drama, whatever it is. And I know some of you are sitting here, and you're really on the edge of your seat, more or less on the edge of youth ministry. And so I hope that today God awakens a fresh calling and some belief in what He's asked you to do and be a part of. And so I hope that's part of your story. And at the very least, if you're somewhere in between, maybe brand new, intern, just figuring some things out, or in school to grizzled veteran, somewhere in between, that God helps you learn and grow today. That's why I'm here too. So thanks for the privilege of letting me stand in front of you and point you towards what Monday in the life of a high school student looks like. The reason I like this workshop is because oftentimes as youth workers, we're focused on Sunday. We're focused on Sunday morning. We have a program to execute, or Wednesday night we have youth group, so we've got to get a game and a video, and someone's got to get up and give a talk. There better be some snacks there. If there's not snacks, is it really church? You got a lot of things cooking, and it usually revolves around a program. But what I want to walk you through in a couple of our times together this morning is what Monday looks like. Like, what are teenagers really going through today? What are their emotions? What are their questions? And how can our Sunday and Wednesday programs, and really the structure of our youth ministry entirely, minister to that teenager? Now here's the thing. I've been in youth ministry for 20-something years. I started when I was 21, right out of Bible college, and have done it for a long time. A lot of things have changed in our culture and in our world in just those 2 decades. But a surprising number of things have not. And so I'm excited to walk you through both sides of what has changed and what hasn't. If you want to take notes, I would love that. I think that you hearing someone's voice is the lowest form of learning. So if you would like to take notes, I would encourage you to do that. If you're more of I'm going to take pictures of the screen and be that type of digital learner, and if you ever will go through those again, feel free to do that. And I'll help you if you want to email me after the session. I'd be happy to give you anything that you've seen today or experienced, because I want to help you grow as a youth worker more than protect the content that I've created. So I think there's some helpful stuff for us to learn today. High school is specifically where I'm going to stay for a little while this morning, to really focus in on the 4 years of high school. If you're here and you work with junior hires, I think you can translate some of this stuff really easily. But I want to, for the handles in my experience, I've really worked with high school ministry the entire time. So I want to kind of focus on the first 4 years. High school brings seismic shifts in differentiation. Differentiation is a big word. It's a vocab word. But the process of becoming an independent adult is called differentiation. You are different than your parents. That's actually a really good thing. The term started in like the 1840-somethings and has been popularized in our culture through this Google word use graph into the 80s where it peaked and into the 2000s. Differentiation is a good and healthy thing. Let me show it to you visually so you understand especially what a high school student is going through. This is the process of separating between mom and dad. So this is a good, healthy thing. Otherwise you end up as a 35-year-old in your mom's basement playing World of Warcraft. So we want this. Now there's nothing wrong with World of Warcraft. But you can do better. You can do better. So here's what it looks like in preschool, where a child is literally attached, an infant, they're literally attached to their mother. They're attached to their parent. The circles are almost concentric at this point. And the idea is that there's very little differentiation. They share, the same DNA and everything. They are literally the same person. In preschool, things begin to change. When I was growing up, my parents kept me on a leash. They kept me on a leash. Anyone else get kept on a leash when you were a kid? Okay, this is good to know. I realize now this is a mild form of child abuse that was happening. That's good. I live right now in Southern California. We live about 20 minutes from Disneyland, depending on traffic, maybe 3 hours from Disneyland. And it's an unbelievable place. And the thing that it's the happiest place on earth, it's also the most kids on leashes you will ever see. It's extraordinary. I would go to Disney just to people watch, and I really like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But that's another time for another time here. But here's a picture of kids on leashes that they're literally, there is no differentiation. Their parents won't let them go more than about an arm's length away. Now, if you're a good parent, you've disguised your leash, like this is a teddy bear backpack where the tail of the teddy bear or whatever, you can walk your dogs, walk your kid. My parents got me it was like Mickey Mouse and Mickey Mouse's tail. And so they would tell me stories like, Josh, we were at the Grand Canyon one time and you fell in. But you had your leash on, and so we were able to, so I'm like, okay, all right, I'll wear my leash wherever I go. And so I didn't realize how much therapy was going to cost for that. But anyhow, here's the idea. Elementary school, they're starting to break apart a little bit, and this is good and healthy. And this is the idea is that, okay, I'm going to let my kid go on a field trip, maybe for the afternoon or maybe overnight. There's some freedoms that are beginning to be experienced in elementary school. You can go hang out with your friends after church at their house or something along those lines. In middle school, the tension is becoming very, very real, where this young person, soon to be an adult in just a handful of years, is really starting to quickly separate from their parents. This is usually the first point when parents begin to feel the tension of differentiation in their house. Like up to this point, it's like, well, do they feel safe? Do we know the parents? Can they go over for the afternoon? Kind of some basic questions. And I've experienced this now 4 times with each of my kids. In middle school is where the tension really, really begins to build. Now, in middle school is also where sometimes you have helicopter moms. I shouldn't say moms because we want to be gender aware. So it's a helicopter parent. It's usually a mom, and she homeschools her kids. But helicopter parent is one, as these circles are beginning to separate, the helicopter parent moves back over towards the child and says, no, that is not going to happen. It's widely known in our culture, helicopter parenting. Here's a couple examples of some, and a magazine, and Time magazine said the case against overparenting. This great book is called How to Raise an Adult Kid for Success. I think those are both accurate. I just Googled them to impress you, so there you go. But we understand the process of differentiation. Now in high school, this is where they're almost a fully functioned separate adult. But the forces that are at play as these two circles begin to fully separate are seismic. They're mind-blowing for the parents and for the teenagers. There's all sorts of shifts that are happening internally in their body. There's all sorts of shifts that are happening in their ideology, in their thinking, even their brain development at this point, which is still very much in formation, is causing incredible chaos in the life of our families. And this is where I'm called to minister. I've given my entire life to this age group, the one that is in the most tension, the most turmoil, and I would also say has the most incredible opportunity, and they're the most vulnerable while being incredibly guarded. They're beginning to now feel things like they don't trust, where in the past, anything works and they trust everybody and anything and they believe whatever. Well, whatever's taught over in the children's session this morning, kids are just like, tell me more, I'm in, church, Jesus, this is awesome. And in high school and sometimes even in junior high, they begin to push back or push away or begin to think critically or are influenced by YouTubers that will challenge their thinking that the church has been instructing them with. And this is the ministry that I've given my life to and understanding the focus of differentiation, because we want them to be a fully formed adult with their own faith, with their own maturity. If we don't walk students through this process of differentiation, what's going to happen is they're going to graduate from high school, they're going to leave their home, and then they're going to graduate or leave their faith. And we want to make sure that they have their own independent, fully formed faith and well-being so that they can be adults. Here's just going to walk you through what it was like in their shoes. So as we think through this process of differentiation, let's take a little time travel this morning, and let's go back to your high school years. No. Yes, we're going to. We're going to go back to your high school years. For some of you, that was a long time ago. For others of you, it was like the day before yesterday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll have a good time walking back into their shoes. You guys want to play along? Most everybody wants to? Okay, good. That's enough to continue. All right, here's an example of one of many movie franchises that are out there. This is the Hunger Games. This is a 3-part trilogy. They just announced in 3 months they're coming out with a new Hunger Games prequel. So Hunger Games is going to come roaring back into our culture. Anybody read Hunger Games? Yeah, okay. Oh, good books. Yeah. Anybody watch the movies? All right. Which was better? Books. Movies. Any movie? Any pro movie? Really? Movie? Read the books. Yeah. You didn't read the books?
No, I don't like to read books.
I love that. That's great. If you didn't hear it, don't like to read books because it ruins the movie. That's fantastic. I appreciate that perspective. Okay, so let's take a deep cut back into your high school years. What was the movie franchise when you were a high school student that you were like, we lined up to watch this, or maybe you bought advance tickets because you're not that old, but this was your movie. Let's hear a couple. Shout them out. What do you got? Top Gun.
Original.
Great movie. Top Gun 2, right around the corner. They just filmed that.
Yes.
Down from us in Miramar. That's awesome. What'd you say?
Rocky 3 and Rocky 4.
Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. Fantastic movies. These are good cuts right now. What do you got? Jurassic Park, the OG Jurassic Park, where it was like, what? How could they do that? Yes. Oh, it's so good. All right, somebody else. Go.
Spider-Man.
Oh, nice. Good. Spider-Man. Amazing. Groundbreaking films. When he comes upside down and she kisses, that's a great moment. Come on. That's movie history. All right, keep more. Matrix. Good answer. If you haven't seen Matrix, we might be in the Matrix. I don't know. I'm just saying. Who else? What's yours? The Avengers. Okay, good. The Notebook. All right. I like it. Let's do a couple more. This section, you guys are being a little quiet over here. What do you got? Iron Man, the original Iron Man. John Favreau's Iron Man. That's awesome. What do you got?
Let's go back to the part of Jaws.
Jaws. Okay, good. All right, what do you got? Harry Potter, that's awesome. Any Harry Potter fans here? Okay, good. I'm not because I'm a Christian, but that's cool. All right, good. I'm a Star Wars fan, so for me it was Star Wars, and funny that Star Wars is coming back, and there's Star Wars everywhere now. One more. Back to Raiders of the Lost Ark. George Lucas, so good. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Picture yourself walking up to the theater And what were you experiencing? And what were you driving on the way to the theater? Did your parents drop you off, or did you have your own car? What pressures were you under? What experiences were you having? Were you walking with Jesus? Were you far from Jesus? Like, where were you in the process of differentiation? Were you fighting with your parents? Was there conflict in your home? Were you dying for freedom and acceptance? Where were you at? Like, the movie is just a setting to trigger some deeper and better questions. All right, here we go. Let's do another one. Imagine what it was like in their shoes. Here we go. Do my clickers? No, there it is. Good. Beats is the headphone of today. Like, I think Beats just announced their brand new ones, which is great too. Coming out in a maybe even sooner rather than later. So Beats are the headphones of this generation. They're super flimsy and terrible, but they're only $350, so what a deal. When you were in high school, what did you listen to music on? What did you listen to music on? Shout out a couple answers. What did you listen to music on? A Walkman. All right. Wired earbuds? Wired? Yeah, wire. Oh, so old school. Yeah. An iPod Classic. All right. What did you say? Well, you had a CD player? Oh, that Discman. Thank you. For those of you that don't know, there's some of you that might not know, there's this thing called a compact disc that you would put on a CD player on your hip, and if you were rich, you had a 3-second anti-skip. Because as you're playing tennis, or like me, avid runner, not really, it would jostle the CD around, so it would have an little memory in it where the CD would just play effortlessly. Also, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, the cassettes were a big deal. They're a big deal too. All right, good. So you get the idea, right? Walkman, headphones, iPod Classic, good. But again, go beyond just the surface answer of like, this is what I listen to music on, and think about like, did you escape into your music? Who did you listen to and why? And what were those lyrics teaching you? And did you wear your headphones in the car? Were you using it to drown out other noise or emotions or parents fighting in the background or whatever that looks like? This is Katy Perry. Katy Perry is one of the biggest artists of today. I could have put a dozen of them up there, but that's an example. When you were in high school on your Walkman or whatever you listen to music on, who did you listen to? Who? Just shout out some answers. You too, Joshua Tree, great. Metallica Black Album, that's rad. Wow, became a Christian a little later in life. That's good, all right. So good. All right, how about you guys? What do you got? Nickelback. No, judgment-free zone. Nickelback, look at this photograph right here. That's good. Nickelback, unbelievable. You're a living meme right now. This is awesome, I love it. All right, what do you guys listen to? What do you listen to in high school? Who was your jam? Everything. That's awesome. Everything. I listened to Amy Grant. I had a mega crush on Amy Grant. She was amazing. Baby Baby was sung right to me. It was an amazing song. Just Google it. It's great. All right, good. Well, let's go to the next one. There it is. Toms are some of the shoes that students may be wearing. It's a buy one, give one at Nordstrom's online, all that stuff. They have millions of different shoes now. Maybe someone is even wearing Toms today. What were you wearing when you were in high school? What were you wearing? DC, Doc Martens, Chacos. You are hilarious. I'm loving this right now. Chacos and Nickelback. You were killing it, man. That's awesome. I love you, though. I love you. All right, good. What did you say? Wheelies, yes. Yeah, that was the like a one skate. Yeah. Oh, those are awesome. You can just kick up on your heels and go. Yeah. Oh, so good. One time I was asked, and someone said, jellies? Jellies, is that a thing? Jellies is like a lady's sandal shoe that's made, it's like squishy gelatin. I'm wearing Converse today, Chuck Taylors. My dad would answer the same thing because he wore Chuck Taylors when he was in high school or whatever. It's kind of funny that what goes around comes around. It's an interesting thing too. All right, so now let's push into this a little bit. And I'm going to have you do a little exercise where you're talking with the people in your row Or if you don't like the people in your row, this is a great chance to change seats or whatever. But take a couple minutes. And honestly, it'd be great to find some people that you don't know, some people with a little different perspective. It could be fun. Remember the people. Share with someone around you who was the person who made the biggest impact in your life during high school. Now, I'm going to literally give us about 5 minutes to process this question. And then I'm going to ask a few of you to share. All right? Now, I haven't talked to any of you about this, but I'm going to pick a few of you at random. So don't make eye contact with me later, because I will call on you. Who made the biggest, and for the sake of our discussion today, I think let's put the word positive in this as well for this first question. Share someone around you, who has made the biggest positive impact in your life during high school? Now you're thinking about this right now, so I'm going to give you mine so that you give you a little more time to share. Mine was Mr. O'Leary. Dan was one of my teachers. And he was just an incredible man, so wise, so fun, but also stern and strict and could toe the line. He knew the right balance of like playfulness, but also discipline. And I could tell that he loved me and cared for me and believed in me. If I was to go a little past high school to my senior year or my freshman year of college, I would say Coach Price. He just passed away last week. He was my football coach in college, and I loved that man. He knew football like nobody's business, but he was also an incredible Bible teacher, and he always had time for me, and I learned servanthood from him. Because after practice, he would walk through the locker room, and whatever stuff was left around or trash, just 50 guys on a football team can be messy, and he was always the last to leave. He always had a little towel tucked in his waist, and he would just serve. And I learned so much from my football coach. So there's a couple examples for you. I would probably throw my parents in there as well. Both of them have walked with Jesus for a long time. My dad was a pastor, and so he lived in what he said in the pulpit. He lived at home, which I think is very tough for someone who's in a leadership position, and he did that. So I put my mom and dad there too. And Carol and Susan and Jim. There's a whole list of people. But for you, think of one. Who made the biggest positive impact in your life during high school, when you were at the Avengers, playing tennis with your Discmen, wearing Birkenstocks, or listening to Nickelback? Let's share with some people around you. I'll give you about 5 minutes. Ready, get set, go. All right, here we go. I love that you guys are in on the discussion and ready to go. That's great. Let's do this. Let's have, I'm going to just pick a number. I'm going to say 5. We're going to have 5 people. Stand up really quick. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. And tell us in a sentence or 3. Don't go too long, but in a couple sentences, tell us your person who is the answer to this question. All right? So we're going to do, let's see, there's 3. So 1 from this section. 1 from this section or more, and then probably 3 from this section for a total of 5. Everybody got it? All right, so setting the bar kind of high. All right, who wants to go first? You only have to share 1 time today. We have a few more of these questions, so a lot of you are going to get chosen, but you can't go more than 1. So you could get it over with right now. And the first one is always really difficult, so we just need someone. Nickelback, would you just start us off? That'd be great.
My name is Betenbough. My answer was a science teacher my sophomore year of high school. He showed me that you can believe in faith and in science. You didn't have to choose one or the other.
Strong. Really, really strong. I love that. Good. Who else? Who's next? Go.
My name is I'm from Midland, Texas, and my answer was my young life area director.
Nice.
He was able to just give me some advice about ministry, teach me some different perspectives on how to view everyone's viewpoints.
It's really cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Young Life Area Director. Very cool. Who's next? I'm kind of looking over here.
I'm Wayne Bryson from Midland, Texas. I was one of my small group leaders for several years. I can talk about anything with them, sports, whatever. When I don't have a calling, I can talk about that.
Nice. Rad. Small group leader. Very cool. Good. Somebody over here.
I'll go.
There it is. You only have to go once. You got it. Get it over with.
Griffin, I'm from Cleburne, Texas now. Wow, that's weird. And mine was my youth minister. He really got me introduced into youth ministry. He supported me.
Wait, is he in the room right now? Oh my goodness. Try not to cry right now.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a moment.
So he's my camp counselor for multiple years, and then my youth minister, and then I interned with him, and now we're doing like youth ministry together.
Wow.
So, I mean, huge impact.
It's really cool. Could you guys just hug right now just so we could get the full look at that is magical. And awkward for the guy in the middle there too. That was he was there. Okay, good. All right, so we did 1, 2, 3, heartbreaking moment, beautiful story, and we have one more. Who wants to share? Everyone's going to share. You might as well just get it over with. Who's next? What do you got?
I had we moved during high school, and before we moved, I had a friend, Tim Logan, who really took an interest in me, and made sure I was included. And then we moved, and a new family member also moved in, Charlie and Cindy Farrell, actually, LCU folks.
Awesome.
Really, she ended up being the director of the wedding.
Wow.
My husband was just steady because of small.
So cool. I love that.
One Bible lesson never taught me, but I remember seeing him live it out.
There you go. A couple really cool things about just these random stories. Some paid professional, youth pastor or a pastor, but also a teacher, a small group leader, a mentor. Like I just love the different ways that God uses people in youth ministry. And here's the crazy part. At some point in the future, as you minister to teenagers and love them and point them to Jesus, you care for them, show up in their lives, reach out to the new kid who just moved to the area, mentor the knucklehead kid who turns into the next youth pastor or whatever it is. Like someday, someone is going to be in a room like this, and they're going to say, who was the most important person in your life? Who made the biggest positive impact in your life during your high school years? And you know what they're going to say? They're going to say your name. Like that's pretty extraordinary to think that that's going to happen. And maybe it'll be a Facebook message or whatever. Facebook will be gone by then. But maybe it'll be a message from someone in your distant past, and they'll say, I know I was a just ridiculous teenager, but you made a huge impact in my life. I would say this to you just as an aside. If you're thinking of someone or in your notes you wrote down the name, or as you told your friends around you your story today, you're like, I don't know that I ever told that teacher or that coach, or insert the name of your person here. I don't think they know that. If they're alive, I would say send them a note. Like your note could be so meaningful to them. As simple as a text message, if you happen to have that information. Maybe you have a great relationship with them and you're like, hey, I was just at a training thing and it made me think of the impact you had in my life, and I celebrated you today, and so thank you for the way. Maybe you need to Facebook stalk them a little bit and find them, but it would mean more than you ever know to reach back into your story. Plus, it helps you. Here's the premise of the first couple hours of our time together. The premise is as you go back into your high school years and memories and mentors and stories and joys and pains and rough spots, and as you go back deep into your story, it will help you be a better youth worker today. Because what happens is we translate things differently with our adult mind. So when someone breaks up with their, girlfriend, you're like, you'll be fine. You're going to get over it, and she totally wasn't the one. You're 14. Like, relax. But that isn't how it feels to them. You're processing with an adult mind going, you had no chance anyhow. I'm actually glad you broke up, so you're not going to get into physical trouble. So this is actually a win. They're not feeling that. They are heartbroken and emotional, and potentially, we've seen this too often where a student can have some depression, even think about taking their own lives over something as an adult mind would process as being very trivial. But it is not trivial to that mind. So we have to be careful as we minister today as young adults and adults. We have to be careful not to translate everything through our mature adult mind. And when you go back to the people and your story and remember how it felt and remember the people and why they made an impact in your life, really what it sounds like to me is, and a lot of the common denominators in the stories that we heard today, was the word time. It just was time. It wasn't the Bible lesson or youth group, and it didn't matter if they were a paid professional or educated in the Bible or if they lived it out. Just they gave their life, they gave their time to you. So I think there's some really interesting things for us to pull out of this as well. Let's go to, oop, my clicker's not working. No, that's great. This is a good spot for a break. We'll play a game on the other side of this break. This is a quick restroom break. It's supposed to end at 10. It's 10:02. And then we'll play this game when we get done. When you come back, this game is called Nailed It or Failed It. Let's see if we can come back to it. Try it one more time. Oh, no, my computer does not like me today. All right, nailed it or failed it. It's called Cat Edition. I'll give you one quick question preview, and then we'll take our quick break. This is an example. Is this cat going to nail it or fail it? You have to decide. Jumping from. What do you think? Let me see the thumb. Nail, fail. All right, we got nails, a lot of nails, a couple fails. I hope it fails because I hate cats. Here's the correct answer. It almost looks Photoshopped, doesn't it? Like, how does that? Nailed it. All right, we'll play a few more of these after the break. Use the restroom, grab a snack. We'll get back together at